What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy NextGenNero, man, and we back with another review. Today is kind of be more like let's say a passion project slash a passion review. Today we are reviewing Cyberpunk 2077, one of my favorite games of all time, man. I want to go through my history with the game, how I was initially let down, maybe not as let down as other people, but man, was definitely disappointed, and you know, I just want to highlight how it kind of did the impossible. Not a lot of games get to have this type of comeback. Not a lot of games get to have the support and love from not just the fans, but from the higher ups as well, to let a game fix its mistakes, right its wrongs, and make everything right within the very same people that they disappointed. And man, Cyberpunk did that, and it continues to do it 10 times over with every piece of update, every piece of media content they put out, whether it's a new Cyberpunk show, a Netflix series, a new comic book. It just don't matter. I love this universe. I love this game. And with that being said, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, share with a friend, leave a comment, let me know your personal Cyberpunk story. Was you initially disappointed? Did you end up getting a refund back? Or was you one of the smart people that waited until, you know, next gen consoles came? Or did you play on PC? Because it was a great experience on PC day one for the most part. So please, man, I would love to have some feedback and hear how everybody else feel about this. And if you're watching this on the Game Pass Daily channel, please consider becoming a channel member. You get access to cool titles and cool stickers, man. Your boy Next Gen Villain, hashtag Mute Panda, AI Lyric, and more. So with that being said, let's get into the video, guys. So man, Cyberpunk was one of the few games I pre-ordered during that PS4 and Xbox One generation, and quite frankly, man, I thought that was gonna be the channel. I thought that was gonna be the game to take my YouTube channel to the next level, right? I remember just talking to my homeboy Rizzy. Shout out to Rizzy the Wolf. It's a real Rizzy, Big Rig Rizzy. Go by multiple names. That's my guy. But I remember just playing Apex with him, man, leading up to the year of release of Cyberpunk, and I just kept telling him, man, look, this is gonna be the game I stream, I make content of. This is the next big thing. I'm super excited for it. I remember seeing all the E3 trailers and the city being densely packed, and it just, what we're playing now in 2025, right, is what we was kind of promised back in 2021 and 2020 leading up to the game. But you know, due to rush development, them not wanting to delay, and for some reason forcing that masterpiece of a game onto ancient hardware, being the PS4 and Xbox One, the game released in a horrible state. Let's just call it what it is. And the funny thing is, I still put 37 hours into the PS4 version on my PS4 Pro before I end up getting a refund from Sony, which is one of the only refunds I've ever gotten in my life from Sony. You know, Microsoft and Xbox is a lot more easygoing with getting refunds for games, but Sony make you jump through hoops. So the fact that Sony themselves jumped in, intervened, and had to refund what I assume is millions of copies or hundred thousands of copies for sure. It was an embarrassing moment for CD Projekt Red, for their fans like myself, and just for the whole gaming industry as a whole. That comes off the back of an era where the hashtag Ubisoft downgrade was in full effect. I know you guys remember seeing Watch Dogs announcement on stage, and it was just beautiful. I believe it was at E3, those E3 demos, and then when the game came, it was nothing like what was promised. So one could argue you can kind of expect that from a Ubisoft, but we didn't really expect that from CD Projekt Red, because quite frankly, they've earned our trust, especially coming off The Witcher 3 and how great that game was. So now we have the arc of Cyberpunk that was righting all of their wrongs, right? And I think it truly started with the launch of next-gen consoles, because like I said, the game was controversial because it ran pretty goddamn good on PCs. Most people who reviewed the game day one played on PC, so we didn't have console reviews and console perspectives until it touched the hands of console gamers, which you could argue was a bullshit move at the time. I definitely would be inclined to agree. but it was also a tell of the times of it's time to move forward. So When I got my Xbox Series X, before it got an official Xbox or PS5 next gen patch, the game just ran better thanks to having more power and just more brute force to get through a lot of the problems, right? So I fell in love with the game all over again. I had an absolute blast. I put about 250 hours into it on Xbox Series X, and I loved every single moment of it. It was just a fantastic game. Never played anything quite like it as far as the immersiveness, the big, beautiful, breathed and lived in world of Night City. I have 57 of 50. I have 51 of 57 achievements for Cyberpunk on my Xbox Series X. So, yeah, I guess you could say I put a lot of time and effort in the game, and man, I would do it all again, which I am currently doing it all again. So I think the official next-gen patch for the Series X, S, and PS5 was officially the turning point that got a lot of people to visit the game, come back to the game, give it a fresh chance, and man, oh man, that next-gen patch was one of the jumping points into really turning this game around. Even though it had a lot of updates and post-launch fixes and bugs fixes and stuff leading up to the next-gen patch. The next-gen patch for me personally is what put it over the edge. And then that's when I fell in love with it all over again. This game grew into a masterpiece, and it had a good foundation. It just was on horrible hardware, I believe, was holding it back. People at the top rushing out to, the greedy corporation things that we see so often nowadays. The little devs, their opinions don't matter. They can say, hey, this game is not ready to ship, this game is not ready to go. You're still gonna have the higher ups that put it out. So with the next gen patch, that was a huge step in the right direction. And then you start getting the 2.0 patches, the 2.1s. You have so many life equality fixes. You had the relaunch of the game pretty much, changing how you get systems, how the skill trees work. They added being able to hang out with your friends. And recently we got the 2.3 update. And prior to that, we had the 2.2 update, which added stuff like trains, which I think is really dope. This 2.3 update, guys, is really big for me personally. They added the option to turn VRR on consoles, which is dope. We get to unlock our frame rates, which, if you don't know, being able to unlock your frame rates for me right now is huge. That's why I'm loving it on PS5 Pro, because it future-proofs your game. When you get a next-gen Xbox or a PlayStation 6 and, some of your favorite games, frame rates are uncapped or being able to be unlocked, the new power and the new consoles is going to pretty much brute force through that. And you're going to be able to run your current library of games that do support VR a lot better. I love the auto drive feature. For me, that was absolutely huge. You're going to see some clips of it in the background. It's just so many improvements to name throughout this game of how it became a masterpiece. It's absolutely insane. And I haven't even touched on the god tier DLC that is Phantom Liberty, which I will return to. So I just really wanted to point out all of the improvements in the game. They also added being able to call a cab, which to me makes so much sense. It just makes the game that much more immersive. And Cyberpunk has always been a very immersive game. So, the game is 5 years old, coming up on 6 years old next year. And I don't want to spoil things, even though I say if you haven't played this game, please go play it. What are you waiting for? It is a masterpiece. But believe it or not, guys, some people have not played this amazing game, so I don't want to spoil anything with the stories, but jeez Louise, the casting in this game is absolutely amazing. Your boy, Keanu Reeves, absolutely love him. I love having Johnny Silverhand with me, and they patched it and updated it to the point where he's more natural. You can be driving around, he'll pop up in a car and chill with you. You go back to your apartment, he'll light up a cigarette, sit on the couch, you can sit with him and talk to him. All things that have been added. This game really revolutionized, I think, side quests for me personally. Now, in something like an Elder Scrolls Skyrim, or maybe, a Fallout New Vegas, yes. And even The Witcher, side quests and great games do lead to great moments. But this game right here took that to another level, whereas if you just play the main campaign of Cyberpunk 2077, you are doing yourself a disservice. It's the reason why I did everything in this game more than once, and I plan to do it again. I'm absolutely loving it, guys. Just the characters, the depth, the world, the amount of things that is to do in this game, it's near and dear to my heart, and I kind of get sad, right? every time CD Projekt Red say, hey, this is the last big update, even though the last few times they said that, they revisited and added even more things. And I just feel like this can be one of them games they continue to just support and add stuff to, leading into late development of the next Cyberpunk game. And I would absolutely love that. We also have them making great content as far as the shows on Netflix, which gave a big boost to the game and the universe as a whole. So I absolutely love that. But the story in this game is very unique, man. The RPG mechanics is amazing, and the driving is just everything about this game is just near and dear to my heart, guys. There's just so many improvements and so much I can name. And as somebody that was there day zero, you know, a pre-order PS4 Pro person that got burnt with that copy like many other people, to see what this game has blossomed into is nothing short of amazing. We got to talk about the Phantom Liberty. That is right up there with the Blood and Wine Witcher DLC. It's just one of the best expansions in a video game ever. Top tier acting, a great new location, great villains, great antagonists, just everything about it, man. Fantastic. A plethora of just new content was added into the game with the expansion. And like I said, it's just better than some whole full-on games. And one of the last few things I want to talk about is just how they're reaching even more players, which give me faith that the game is going to continue to grow and get updated. We have the Switch 2 port, which is a pretty decent, good port of the game for it to be on a handheld hybrid console, right? You have, it just got announced that it's going to Mac soon, which is awesome as well. That's more people, and it supports all the M1 Macs. So, you know, it's fantastic. And I'm playing again on the PS5 Pro, guys. This is the footage you're seeing. I'm using the performance mode with unlocked frames, and I'm constantly setting at 80 to 90 frames. And I love it. That's all I wanted as a console gamer: higher resolutions, higher frames, without having to go build a multi-$1,000 rig. You understand what I'm saying? And Cyberpunk and the PS5 Pro is definitely giving me that with this specific game. And man, I'm having a blast, yo. So this game truly did grow into a beautiful game, a masterpiece. I think it was always a beautiful game day one, depending on what system you had. But I just think it's worth giving flowers to earn the trust back of the people whose same trust you've broken, if that makes sense, right? Because not a lot of games do that. And, you know, people may laugh at this, but I personally enjoyed Redfall. I think the core game of Redfall was all right. Was it flawed? Yes. Was it rushed? Yes. But did it have a good foundation that they could have grown from and invested time and resources into that? Yes, I honestly think it did. And when you look at something like a Sea of Thieves that was rough day one, that game grew into a beautiful community and thriving as well. So guys, I just had to put this out because I never reviewed Cyberpunk, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. It is such a good game, and I can't sing its praises enough. I'm having a blast playing it all over again on my PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm definitely going for that platinum. So wish me luck with that. Guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. If you want me to review more games like this, stick around. Your boy's working always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.